Welcome to the Craft Service Table, the podcast where we talk about films, television, art, and entertainment from the perspective of the people who make them. I'm Howard, and joining me today, writer, director, editor, podcaster, our longtime listener, first-time caller, even though he ordered his hot sauce an hour ago, it's always okay to disagree about movies, unless we're talking about Little Woman 2019. It's JJ Taliba from Silver Hour Film Club.
Oh my God! Wait, this isn't the picture wrap. This is the Craft Service Table.
You crossed over.
I'm on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Dude, you actually surprised me. I didn't think you could catch me off guard with your intro, but that was really good.
Yes,
that was really good.
I always work really hard on it.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Is that your favorite Nolan movie?
No.
No?
This is actually secret Nolan rankings. Tenet's probably like number 4 on their hot take right off the bat. Tenet is a top tier Nolan movie, guys. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it about like 5 more times, and then you'll see the vision.
I kind of agree. I didn't have an opinion when I first watched it, but as I rewatched it over the years and kept thinking about it, it just got better and better.
Exactly.
And like you start to realize what he was trying to do. But at least that's kind of my relationship with Tenet over the years.
No, I agree, because that was like I hope this doesn't become a Tenet episode, but that was a pandemic movie, so I first watched that at a drive-in movie theater. So it was just not the best quality to watch that film, and I think I was more annoyed at it when I finished than like actually liking it. So it took me a while to warm up to it.
Oh yeah, just give it if you hate it, give it another shot.
Yeah,
it's
and
good.
If you still hate it, I don't know.
Give it another one.
Give it another.
Watch it backwards. Maybe
Exactly,
you'll see
there
something.
you
Yeah. So thank you for joining me on this episode, and this is probably gonna be released right after Parvati's episode, at least back to back.
But I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, it is still editing it.
Oh, which I wish I could respond to all her points.
I know
she's a liar.
Oh my God,
fraud, and everything she said about me is untrue. In that episode, I'm here to set the record straight.
Yeah, we actually just spent 2 hours talking shit about you.
I'm happy to be here because I feel like everyone you've gotten on the show have been like talented, humble, hardworking artists who are working at really exciting places like Mythical or American Girl, or finding their own production company. They're very multi-talented. And finally, you brought someone untalented onto the show. And I'm ready to make this the most chaotic, most unlistenable episode.
Okay.
I'm actually a secret agent for the Silver Hour Film Club podcast.
Is that your challenge, to make this unlistenable?
No, I think you need some spice here. You've gotten really humble people who are really like, you need some like arrogance here.
Okay, you want some beef, from one podcaster to another.
Yes, as a fellow Gemini with Kendrick Lamar, I'm just going to call out shots and like just start, Derek, you pronounced Spielberg wrong, bro.
Yeah,
like,
oh my God, oh shit, okay, keep going. Oh my God. Jake, what about Jake?
Hook, not the best Spielberg movie. Sorry, Jake.
Did he say that in your podcast?
No, he probably, I don't know if he thinks that. I don't remember. I still need to edit that.
Okay.
Yes.
Still editing it.
Sorry, I've already thrown your intro off the rails.
Let's go off. Yeah, any other thing you want to complain about?
Who else have you had on? Avery and Dominique. You guys are too nice. You guys should have argued with Howard more. You should have called him out for the tennis ball question. Like, he's making fun of colorblind people on this show. You're gonna take that?
Sorry about that,
people listening to this right now. Also, there's probably only gonna be like 3 people who listen to this. And
no.
They're gonna see me on the. Sorry, that's not a shot at the podcast. That's a shot at the guests. You're gonna see all these guests,
because no one gives a fuck about you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I think I have the leeway to just say whatever. Unless we both somehow end up being really famous, and then they go back to this interview.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, they manifest. It's a temporal pincer movement.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Yeah,
just backwards. Anything you want to talk about? Say to Leah's episode and Derek's. You already talked about Derek.
Well, I was at the live recording.
You were here.
Episode, and you cut something out that I thought was really funny. I'm not going to say what it was.
We can't.
Yeah, we can't. But it was really funny, and I was wondering if you had the cojones to leave that in.
I can't say that shit.
I feel like late night hosts would leave that in.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
You're trying to be more just.
I'm peaceful. Peaceful.
Okay. No, you are very peaceful. That's why I'm here to bring some
spices.
Throw some shots. This isn't my show, so.
Great. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here.
Yes.
As you know, we ask every guest on here the intro questions to get into the conversation. So, what's your favorite craft service?
Welch's fruit snacks, Derek.
Oh my God.
There's nothing like seeing. Honestly, I'm not a big foodie though, so I'm not the person you go to for food opinions.
Okay.
So whenever I just see fruit snacks, it's just home base for me, especially Welch's, because I feel like that's the most popular one.
Yeah.
You'll see. Wait, Welch's, right?
Yeah,
because
Welch's.
Mott's is the sticky ones I get in your
Yes.
I didn't try. I don't know if I've tried the Derek ones.
The Black Forest one?
Yeah, so.
Well, when he said it, I didn't make the connection of Black Forest and what the actual gummy is. So I already tried it at that point, but I just didn't know it was called Black Forest.
That was the brand?
So it's like the organic gummy bear looking thing.
Yeah, I feel like I've tried that before, and I probably liked it. I mean, any kind of fruit snacks is good, but Welch's is just like, that's just the default. So
Man, Welch's sucks, man. I hate them. They're boring.
I think I'm not on set as much as your other guests. I feel like so. This is your first. This is a guy staying at home.
How did you get into film then?
Yes.
What's your story with art?
Yeah, my story with art goes. I feel like I was embarrassingly young when I got into art because not art, but filmmaking.
Why embarrassing?
No, because I feel like if you started that young, you would have there'd been more of an advantage. But I think. Because I feel like a good chunk of people, it takes a while to figure out what they want to do. And I've been dead set on being like a film director since I was like 8 or 9 or something.
That's good. That could be an advantage, right?
No, it should have been an advantage, but I feel like I haven't taken it. I feel like in high school, I definitely could have pursued learning filmmaking more than I did. I first got into writing because I think in my second grade class, we had like a free writing section where you just write short stories, and I loved writing short stories.
Yeah,
I'd make like connected cinematic universes, and this was in 2007. Okay, so Kevin Feige.
It wasn't a thing back then, guys.
It was not a thing. I would like write a story about a guy, and then like 3 stories later, he like comes back in another guy's story.
So you single-handedly created a cinematic universe.
Yeah, I'm not saying Kevin Feige showed up in my second grade class and looked at my short stories, but maybe he did. It's totally like comic books did not do that for like 50, like 60, 70 years
in the history of comic books.
History of that, yeah. But anyway, so I was pretty set on being a writer, and then like I watched a lot of Planet Earth documentaries in my 3rd grade class, and I'm like, wait, I love that filmmaking of being a documentarian seems so cool. So I was like, how can I get into that? And then eventually I had to moved to LA because I used to live in San Diego. Sorry, I'm not getting
San Diego?
Yeah, I used to live in San Diego.
Oh, shit, I did not know that.
Yeah, well, there you go. You're learning something about me today. There you go.
Damn.
So I was in 3rd grade and we had to move to LA because my mom's job like required her to like drive back and forth from San Diego to LA like every day. And that was like absolute hell for her. And I can't believe she endured that. Love you, Mom, if you listen. Please don't listen to this
Shout
podcast.
out to all the moms out there.
Yeah, shout out to all the moms out there. Is
At
this
least
a
the good
Mother's Day
ones.
release?
Oh.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Possibly. You could time this. Yeah. Dedicated to all the moms out there. So we had to move up to LA. So the process was like moving all of my stuff out. So eventually, like back in San Diego, all I had left was like my PlayStation and like a movie, and it was The Dark Knight. And I would just watch that over and over again. And then I'd eventually get to the behind the scenes footage. And I remember the shot. It's Christopher Nolan doing the tunnel chase scene. And he's in front of the big semi truck and he's like pointing his hands out like a director does. Like, you know, for a pro tip for anyone directing a short film, if you want good BTS photos, always talk with your hands. So the photos look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's what Nolan was doing from this big semi truck. And I think I had the revelation like, oh man, someone gets to like do this. Like, make movies as a job. That sounds like the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
And I think from that point on, I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be a director. So I guess this is a pretty big Christopher Nolan episode already, talking about Tenet and now The Dark Knight.
I mean, it's kind of your inspiration and kind of what also keeps you pushing at this point too, right?
That's true, yeah.
One of the biggest inspiration for you, yeah. So you said that you feel like knowing that you want to pursue filmmaking at an early age is almost, it should be an advantage to you. So what in what ways would it be an advantage for you?
That's a good. I feel like when I watch directors' interviews, they're like, "Yeah, I played with my father's Super 8 camera, and I was making short films with my brothers in the backyard." And I feel like I wasn't really doing that. I wish I did that more. I am an only child, so I didn't have access to the siblings to make short films with them. So I think that kind of maybe stunted my like passion. Like I didn't have like a group of friends who were like, "Yo, let's go make a movie." At like 12 years old, it would just be whenever we had a school project, and it's like, "You guys can make a video," and I'm like, we're gonna make a video. Okay, guys, we're gonna do this. Yeah. So that was the only time I could ever like express my like video passions. I used to make, before I even wanted to be a filmmaker, I like to make little vlogs on like my Samsung like slide phone and like stuff like that. I guess that was like my first ever like backyard video making. But that was almost like a precursor to like YouTube back in like 2007. Just me running around my backyard being like, I'm on a scooter. Guys, look at me.
So do you think you haven't taken too much advantage since then?
No, yeah, because
over the years,
in high school, some of my friends enrolled in the Ghetto Film School, which is a really great program that teaches like high school kids like filmmaking.
Yeah.
And they were like, yo, you should totally like apply to that. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. And I wish I wasn't like, I don't know. I wish I took that opportunity. I wish I sought more like early filmmaking, because I feel like we're beginning to leave the status of being like a student, something we can use at our events. Like, oh, I'm a student, I'm just learning. Like, can I be a part of your like, can I watch your production or something? Or like, what can you teach me? Or like, can I get access to this thing? I'm a student, I feel like we're getting to the point where it's like, oh no, we're like adults now, we're professionals. I mean, this is what the show is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of scary. It's like, oh, I wish I took a better advantage of that.
So do you think there's a misconception now, after all these years being around professional people, and also you working professionally too in the industry, do you think there's a misconception of, oh, you knew it since the beginning, you should be ahead of us by this point, so how come you're not, that kind of thing?
Ooh, wait. I'm confused at the question. Like, is that a yes or no question?
Because, like when people talk, they'd be like, okay, I knew filmmaking when I was like 20 years old. That's really late for someone.
Yeah, but relatively to us.
Yeah, and I feel like there's always this dialogue of, oh, you knew it so early. I wish I could be you. I wish I had that advantage of knowing this path that I want to take and use all these years to like practice and get better at my craft.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess it always just depends on the person too. I'm sorry if I'm not like answering the question as well as I could be. I really don't think there is like a prejudice or anything. I think that's more of a personal thing where it's like, I wish like I knew pretty early I wanted to be in filmmaking or wanted to become a film director. So I wish I pursued that dream harder than I did growing up, because I feel like when you're younger, you can take advantage of these opportunities of, in a way of like being a student, being someone. I feel like it becomes more taboo in a way, but it's not. It shouldn't be a taboo to like learn when you're older. But I feel like there naturally is, So yeah, I just think
it becomes harder because life hits you pretty quickly.
That also is true. Like, getting pretty deep, but it's like, like you gotta start paying rent. You gotta like make money, and it's like, actually, a stable job actually wouldn't be so bad right now. It'd be nice if I was just making like a stable income 9 to 5. But that's not what we do. We're freelancers. We have like sometimes we're feasting, other times, most of the time, really, it's famine,
Yeah.
So
I'm really hungry right now, by the way.
I just brought you chicken. You should have some after.
We're gonna have a feast later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually hate that because I've been giving a few opportunities ever since I graduated to go work part-time or full-time somewhere. And I feel so bad that I had to turn it down. And every time it like those opportunities come to me, I feel like this big decision that I have to make, because I want to pursue my career as a creative and as a script supervisor, because I love doing that. I also want to spend time on my own creative output too. But getting a part-time job or a full-time job would definitely hinder that.
Yeah,
I would not have nearly as the flexibility that I have right now to do that. So every time it comes up, it's like, man, I really want to take that. I want the stability, I want the money.
Yeah.
But also, I wouldn't be able to do what I love. So it is definitely a really difficult place to be at, and also the film industry right now is really, really slow for everyone. So what's your main source of inspiration? Like, what's your kind of creative process of coming up with an idea, because you mostly write and direct, and at least for your own projects, and sometimes you edit for other people too, and so what's the process like, coming up with an idea, writing it, and then eventually becoming your own editor later on?
That's a great question. Maybe I just make movies I want to see. You know what I mean? Like, I think ideas would be cool. I'm more of a plot over character guy when it comes to developing movies first, which is a bad lesson to learn. Don't fall into this trap, guys.
That's why we love Tenet.
Write your characters first.
I don't think I can promote that sentiment, but
yeah. I wish I could name every protagonist to my thing the protagonist. That would be so cool. But yeah, I feel like I'm trying to look back at like the movies I've made, and it's really, I guess it's kind of unfortunate. It just seems like, oh, can you like pitch us a movie? And I'm like, okay, I think this idea is pretty cool. And then we just end up making it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, my last 2 short films have really been school assignments in a way. But there were school assignments that were ideas that I thought were really cool, or wanted to explore, or wanted to make or see. I think making movies I want to see takes the pressure off of, like, oh, well, I got to entertain the audience or do this or do that. I think I just want to be the filmmaker like I want to be. Like, you know.
Is that why you tend to kind of lean on plot over theme and other like character development?
I feel like if you listen to this podcast, you realize I'm a very shallow person.
No.
I think I'm not a very introspective person in terms of like, you know, like what is this person feeling at this moment? I'm more of a like, let's put this person through the most chaotic thing imaginable and see what results from that to their character instead of where were they at the start in a way. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, I think that's perfectly valid because people have different approach to their art. And I feel like if you're more drawn to the external conflict and external factor, that's totally valid too. Where I feel like a lot of people who are not into the arts and understand filmmaking as much, they would see like an art house film and be like, this is so fucking boring.
Yeah, I agree.
So what's so important about making movies you want to see?
Oh, that like, well, as I mentioned, it really takes the pressure off to try to impress an audience. Like,
is that your main goal, to impress an audience?
No, I want to make a movie for myself. I don't want to impress an audience, you know. I just want to make things I want to see. But also, the reason I'm kind of like struggling to answer these last two questions is I kind of don't want to make like a thesis for my career or like what movies I want to make. I just want to make movies. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I give you an answer now, it's like, okay, is this my philosophy going into my creative process? But I don't think I really have one. I just want to be a creative. I love watching movies, and I get inspired watching movies, and I want to make them, you know?
Do you want to make all kinds of movies?
I do want to have like a diverse genre. We talked about like who's the GOAT filmmaker, and it's like, is it diversity of genre? Is it like someone who can make all these different kinds of movies? I don't know yet, but I think it's a good challenge to try to make a bunch of movies. I have a notes document on my phone where I just like write down movie ideas, and I don't care what genre or what the story is. Like, I want to make all kinds. And I feel like I'm in this pattern where I'm just like jumping through genre films right now. And I think in the last couple of years, I'm like heavy into like crime movies. So those are the movies I'm making right now. Yeah.
And we'll definitely dive deeper into each of your projects and kind of your past work and their genres and how it differs. What's the importance in dipping your toe into each genres and style of filmmaking? Because you're kind of like hopping around right now.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. I think, you know, you stretch different muscles, and that makes you a more well-rounded filmmaker, you know, because if you're doing something like a rom-com, you're going to want to focus on the characters and the relationships more. But if you're doing something like a thriller, you want to try to build better set pieces, or like what would like make an audience feel scared at this moment, you know? So you're thinking different things. And I think that's what also makes filmmaking and movies so exciting, is that range of genres. And like, I mean, art in general, like there's so many different like stories to tell. Like there's always going to be an unlimited amount of stories and characters.
And different ways to tell it too.
Exactly.
Speaking of genre, looking at your past work too, they range from crime thriller, Twin Aces, to horror, Symposium, and also a little movie called Beware the Nightcrawler.
You didn't tell me that in our prep.
Yeah, we did not.
Look at that. Oh, wow.
To comedy, First to 100, and drama, Thirst. So do you have a favorite genre to work on as an editor, director, and a writer, respectively?
Ooh, yeah. I want to kill myself as an editor when I edit my crime nonlinear stuff, because then I'm like, why do I have to make this so twisty turny, the nonlinear stuff? Twin Aces went through how many revisions, even though it's relatively close to the script and how I wrote it, and the ideas, just like balancing like voiceover across time or cutting across different timelines. Just makes me like want to like bash my head in as an editor sometimes. But I'm really proud of the edit work I did on that. And that's my favorite aspect of what I did. My favorite part of Twin Aces is the score. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Thank you. Dude. I listen to it still all the time. And I want to go through like each track with you and talk about like where our inspirations came from. Should
we make another episode?
Yeah, sure. That'll be the
Twin Aces
podcast. We'll put it on the Blu-ray for Twin Aces.
Oh my God. I am excited.
Yeah, so I think as an editor, I probably want something more linear. For sure. Like something like Thirst, I think, was pretty fun to edit because it was just getting good shots that my dad got of me walking around in the desert, and that was fun to edit. I love editing to music, even though they tell you not to do that. It goes so hard when you edit to music, just hitting the correct beats.
That is true.
I used to make more like edits that I just post on like TikTok or my YouTube channel, and I have a lot of fun doing that. So I think just like I love the musical element to editing. So maybe like a musical would be fun to edit if I ever get to do something. Like I always want to edit a music video, and I haven't really had the chance to do so yet. So if any like artists are listening to this or music video directors and want an editor, hello, I'm here. You can find my contact info at. I'm just kidding. We'll put all that stuff at the end.
On your IMDb.
What's the other one? Writing. Well, then I love writing.
Writing and directing.
Yeah, I love writing my crime stuff. That's so fun to like, because it's like I'm basically planning a crime here that I can try to pull off.
It's your fantasy.
Yes,
right?
It is my fantasy. Yeah, that's a great way to describe that. Yeah, it's fun to just like throw the audience in the labyrinth that I get to like twist and turn the doors to, and it's just a lot of fun to put characters also in situations that are way over their heads, or seeing them try to get out of a situation. It's exciting and it's fun to write, and that is something that like plot wise is very heavy, and I like to like
writing on adrenaline.
Exactly. Yeah. And as a director, I think directing Symposium was a lot of fun. Joyce is such a great actor, and I think
Symposium is a horror film.
Is a horror film. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, that's not even out yet when this episode comes out. But it limited on dialogue and more on like suspense and like drawing out these moments, and I think that's fun as a director to do, because I think I struggle with like directing dialogue scenes, and it's something I want to improve on, but it's also something like I'm just nervous about. I feel like I'm just naturally a shy person, so I think like trying to like connect with these actors to try to get a great performance out of them is something I want to work on, and I'm still working on. So I think right now, like I like directing stuff that's more silent, where moments are more played out like very slowly, very ramping up the tension.
Yeah. Do you think that's the most challenging part for you as a director, just talking to the actors?
I think so. Yeah. That might, honestly.
It might be.
Yeah, because that's such a big part of it, and I work with very talented people who like handle, cinematography and score and, I was going to say editing.
Shout out to JJ Toledo.
Yeah, shout out to him. I love that guy.
He's a really good guy.
I think actors intimidate me.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they're very talented, but I also want them to feel comfortable, but I also want them to do what I want. So it's hard to like strike that balance with them and find people who I have comfortable relationships with. I've been very lucky to work with very talented actors, especially on something like Twin Aces. Shout out to Tim, Sarah Michelle, Ariana.
They're incredible.
And absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And I feel like I let them down sometimes in the way I directed them. I feel like we could have spent more time in rehearsal, or I could have given them better direction. And I feel as if I let them down sometimes. And it's never a detriment to their talent, because they're super talented. And I just wish I was able to wring more of that talent out of them making the film. And I'm totally happy with their performances for sure. It's just sometimes I can't even watch Twin Aces anymore. I don't know if you can watch Winger.
No.
Yeah. Because Ronan, a friend of the podcast, he says like he's described it in a really great way. Like we see the films in like down to its like microscopic level now. We see every decision that was made. But it's hard for us to just step back and just watch the movie like a audience member. So that's what makes directing.
And I feel like that's all of us, especially at that point we were still students and we were still learning a lot of things. So we are going to make a lot of mistakes and not make the movie in our mind. That's never going to happen, especially in that stage of our career, I guess. And talking to actors, I feel like everyone has a different approach. Because I think hearing other directors talk about their process of working with actors, a lot of directors just say that they leave most of it up to the actors. Yeah. And a lot of directors are like very close to the actor. So I think everyone has a different approach, especially, it also gets to like, what's his name? David Fincher's idea of like bringing out a performance from an actor. Not everyone is going to be thinking that's like the best thing ever. Make them do
something 75 times and eventually
or 100 times.
Subconscious level, they'll eventually get the
does that work? I don't fucking know. Yeah. But if it works for them, it works for them. And do you think that's a good thing, that the actors challenge you the most, that you're a little bit intimidating by the actors because they're so intelligent and so talented all the time?
What do you mean? Do I think that's a good thing that I'm?
I mean, do you think that's a good thing for you as a director and as a filmmaker who's just trying to home in on your craft?
I wish I got that down. I'm not gonna say like I'm happy I have this challenge to overcome. No, I want things to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's tough to wring a performance out of an actor, and sometimes I want a line read perfectly, but it's cool that they have their own interpretations too, and it's hard to like, oh yeah, I like that, I like this, it's you're interacting with another human being, which is always, we're all complex individuals, and it's hard to be on the same page all the time, or but I think that's also the exciting part about filmmaking is the collaborative nature of it. I love working with other people. I don't know why the relationship with the actor is just the hardest thing, because they're really on the spot the whole time. Like being an actor,
it's all on you. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, like 30 eyes watching you.
More than that sometimes.
Yeah.
I generally try to talk to the actors when I can on set, and just to really connect with them and really just pick their brain.
Yeah.
Because I also want to be a director eventually. So learning about actors, I find it really helpful. And what I got from a lot of the actors that I talk to, they don't want to be treated as a robot.
Yes.
They just don't. If you give them a line reading, they're not going to say it exactly, because they want to believe that if you cast them, it's because they're bringing a piece of themselves into your movie, not because you want a robot to read your lines.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just a little thing that really stuck out to me.
Quentin Tarantino gives line readings sometimes.
He does?
There's some behind the scenes footage where it's like, say it like this, blah, 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 blah.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting, right?
To each their own. Like I said earlier, like sometimes 100 takes works for you. Sometimes a line reading works for you. So you just have to like work on stuff and figure out what works for you, kind of, right?
Yeah.
I guess I can ask you about it right now. So how did you separate yourself from your directing and editing this Twin Aces project specifically? How did you separate that?
Yeah, the original plan, I feel like I was supposed to get someone to edit this, but then as I was shooting the film and reading the script, it was like, oh yeah, I'll just put it past together like over winter break. And I was like, as I was watching the footage, I'm like, I would not wish this job on anybody that I'm about to embark on right now. I feel like they'd rip their hair out trying to follow this script and edit it together. So, yeah, that was tough, because my director brain would be like, wow, I did not like that take, how that went at all. And my editor brain would be like, oh, but it would flow really well if we put this cut here, if these scenes matched with each other. So it was definitely a challenge. And I think I don't want to be the person editing my own films forever. But right now I feel like they're written in such a way where I kind of just have to be the one to edit them.
Yeah.
Because it's such an important aspect of like how the movie comes together, is the way the stories intercut with each other, how it collapses in on itself in a way. So it's definitely tough. But at the end of the day, it's almost like I don't think of myself as like, no, I'm an editor brain now. I'm just the director the whole time who's editing the film. So interesting. Yeah.
Shout out to Mike Flanagan, who edits all of his own stuff.
Oh, dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven Soderbergh does sometimes. Chloe Zhao, I know, edited Nomadland, I believe. So,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, some directors.
Some directors just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're good at it. We can definitely dig deeper into that kind of dynamic between your director persona and editor persona. But before we get into that, I do have a few more questions, and then we're going to jump into some of your projects.
Yeah, bring it. Let's go.
So, is music the most important part of the movie?
Yes. No. Was that a serious question?
That is a serious question.
It's a story. You know what I mean? Like, you can have mediocre everything, but if the story is fantastic, that's an incredible film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 12 Angry Men.
No music.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're big score nerds. I love a good score. I'm so happy I found you, man. Like, I love, I could talk about the Twin Aces score all day.
Well, we'll record a separate episode.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go.
That's stuck in my head, dude. I'm just mad the Spotify version of Twin Aces ends differently.
That's a backstory. There's a backstory for that.
Yeah, that'll be on the director's commentary. Yeah. In 10 years, we should do commentary over our...
10 years?
What?
Let's do 5 years. 5 years coming up, right?
Is that coming? No, that's not coming up. Is that coming up?
When did the movie come out?
That is coming up. That's like, we're halfway there.
We're halfway there, yeah.
Jeez Louise. Oh, no. Winger 2 should have been out by now.
Oh, my God. Wingers.
Left winger.
The right
Striker.
wing.
Striker should be out. Yeah, center forward.
If you guys are confused, I directed Winger as my senior project.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And he scored twin aces. I don't know if you said that.
I think I said that.
Okay. Well,
whatever.
We'll double down on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you ask music in particular? Was that?
I don't know, because we always talk about score all the time, and we kind of share our favorite scores, and I know that in your creative process you put a lot of emphasis on scoring and music too. So I just thought I asked because that question was asked to Nolan, I think.
Oh wow! What did he say?
He said no.
Yeah.
I feel like
as in no, I agree.
Yeah.
No, some of my favorite movies don't have a score. Like No Country for Old Men doesn't have a score.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no. It's just like the wind in that movie. But
That's the
I
music.
think music and rhythm is so important in movies, even if they have a score or not. Like rhythm is such an integral part of like how a movie flows, and just it can be to anything. It's like life is music.
I mean, look at Star Wars. Like
exactly.
the music is its own franchise by this point.
No, yeah, I was rewatching Jurassic Park a couple months ago, and I'm like, John Williams kind of carries this movie sometimes. Like, a helicopter flying into an island would not be magical if John Williams isn't the bedrock of that. So yeah, obviously music in a way is very important, and I think editors should study music and should study rhythm. I was in my marching band in high school, and I don't know how much that helped me, but it gives me a sense of like, I was in percussion. I played the snare drum and the tenor drum, and I feel like there's a sense of rhythm in me that I try to bring to my edits for sure.
Yeah, it definitely helps as an editor and as a director, I feel like.
Yeah. Not to get into specifics, because I don't know if you're going to like run through everything or not.
Yeah, we can. That's our next section.
Okay.
Let's talk about, at least briefly, talk about all of the short films that you directed, I would say. So in desperate need to pay for their mother's surgery, fraternal twins to attempt to con an underground poker game run by a dangerous crime family. This one is Twin Aces.
Oh, I could have gotten that right. You should have asked me.
It's actually a trivia game now. So is Twin Aces autobiographical, and where did the money go?
Twin Aces is not autobiographical as much as I was playing poker. I guess in a way, okay, maybe it is autobiographical. It's just I don't see myself in Marcus as in the protagonist of that short. But I think maybe just the plot, or maybe I see myself in both of the twins.
No, you saw yourself in Peter.
Yeah. I see myself as the guy who gets kicked out of the poker room with his bloody nose. Shout out to Josh, who stepped up, who was a PA on that day.
Yeah.
I have to play that guy. I was going through, God, man, quarantine was rough on my body. Went to the hospital a couple times, and that's the debt was paying up. But also, since I was home all the time, I was playing a lot of poker. Yeah. So those were the things on my mind, and that's just what Twin Aces came out of. So I guess it is autobiographical. I guess when I first heard that question, I'm like, do I see myself in the protagonist? But I guess I see myself in the essence of Twin Aces, in the plot and the structure and the story. When we were asked to pitch a senior film, I was thinking what's something grand scale, but also very achievable. And I felt like a poker room is a scene that comes with natural tension, is one room, just a couple actors, and could be lit very cool, very dramatically. And I'm like, okay, that'll be the baseline of whatever I'm writing right now. And then I kind of just wrote the script around this central idea. And looking back at Twin Aces, which I got to rewatch a couple weeks ago because it screened at a festival
It's still going on
which
festival
is crazy,
runs.
Yeah. Which is funny because it's up on YouTube now, guys. So just
go watch it.
YouTube Twin Aces. Make sure you watch the one posted by the Twin Aces channel because that one's in 4K and doesn't have an ad playing in the middle. No shade to that festival, though. I love the people over there. Twin Aces, if you think about it, it's a fast-cutting movie, back and forth, cross timeline, going back and forth in time to explain the heist and whatnot. But in the center of the movie is really just one poker hand that takes place over 4 or 5 minutes between
a big
Marcus
chunk
and
of
Alex.
the movie.
Yeah, big chunk of the movie, and I'm really proud of how that scene turned out. In terms of just putting two characters together and just drawing tension out of one moment.
So how did that connection go from you not having the best time during pandemic to a $15,000 buy-in to a poker game all of a sudden?
Well, yeah, I guess just like money was always. I mean, a heist film is always exciting with money. And looking back at Twin Aces, I wish I showed more money. You know, like we had some fake money, but I wish we showed more. I feel like you got to show what they're going for.
Yeah.
In Twin Aces, the problems of the characters also felt like my problems in a way. Like I need to get this money, and I feel like there's this pressure on me to, pay my debts or whatever. But I think honestly, Thirst is probably a better like pandemic short to me than Twin Aces. Twin Aces was like my get out of that zone.
Yeah, I feel like we have so much to talk about Twin Aces, and
that could be its own thing.
Yeah. Do you think we will record another one?
Sure, for the 5-year anniversary. Sure.
Oh my God,
I would need a prep actually, because like I feel like I'm already forgetting. Like I'm trying to like move on from it in a way. Like I'm more building the feature, which. The script of the feature. It's not like we're filming it or anything, but just to rework. Also, yeah, like Twin Aces, I wrote that because it's like I feel like I could build a bigger world out of the story too. Yeah. And you asked me like where the money went, which is a spoiler, by the way.
Oh shit.
Well, actually, I don't think that's really a spoiler, but
no, I just feel like there's so much to say.
Oh right, about the Twin Aces 5-year Blu-ray we've just announced on your podcast. Congrats on the scoop.
Yeah.
No, I remember when I was doing the mix. Ben Huff. Yeah, he was.
Shout out to Ben Huff.
You could use Final Cut to make your own like Blu-ray export of a film, and I wish I took notes on what he was saying.
Oh wow,
that sounds dope. I would love a physical release.
That would be cool. But anyways, we can go on and on about each of our projects, but we're gonna save that for a later time when we have more time
retrospective
to talk about project. And then so Twin Aces was a crime thriller, and then you jump to a young man lost in the desert begins to lose his grip on reality. It's kind of like an experimental drama film called Thirst that you made during pandemic.
Yes.
So talk to me about that project and what made you feel like you had to tell that such a
I think it's interesting
story.
You're going backwards in my career-wise. I feel like when talking about it, it's like I want to reference what I did before when making what I do next. There's usually a response to that. Because Thirst is such like an isolated film, obviously. It's the pandemic, and we were tasked to make a short film with like no other people unless you were living with people, and I was only living with my parents at the time. And I was out in Vegas basically throughout 2020. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna make a film here in my apartment. I'm gonna go out to like the desert that surrounds this place. Yeah. And just walk around and shoot like how I felt, which is very like isolated from everyone and everything. And and it's also kind of like a funny sequel to a short I did. Yeah. We had a project where we had to make like little 30-second shorts that would connect with other 30-second shorts. Yeah. And I didn't want to shoot in my apartment again, so I like filmed just a sequence out in the desert, which I thought was pretty funny. So I'm like, okay, for my next one, I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to expand it. Yeah. So that's what came out of Thirst. And the story of a guy walking around being tormented by water bottles was actually something I wrote back in high school. We had like our teacher made us do like just free writing sessions for like 5 minutes, just write and don't stop. And I think I love what are those called? Salt flats. And I just pictured a guy just walking through a salt flat, tired. Obviously, he's in the middle of a desert. And like, what would he want at this time? Water. Okay, there's the natural conflict. And that's a short story I wrote years before. And when I needed a short for quarantine, I remember that. I'm like, oh, I kind of feel like how that guy's feeling right now. So,
yeah. It was scored live in one of the festivals that we went together. That was really
fun.
Cool. Yeah. Thirst isn't the only thing that was born during the pandemic for you.
What, did I have a kid? What's happening?
Another little podcast called the Silver Hour Film Club was also created during this little period. So talk to me about that. Your podcast, Silver Hour Film Club, is still going strong right now with your co-host Parvati.
Despite your best efforts to kill it.
Yeah, but I guess I'll give you like 5 minutes of fame over here, our biggest competition. But yeah, talk to me about that. Why make a podcast about that at that time, and where are you taking it right now?
Yeah, Parvati is one of my biggest friends, but back then, like we were us and our friend Emma, we would always talk about movies, but naturally when you talk about movies with people, there's always going to be one you haven't seen and the other two go like, oh, what, you haven't seen that movie, what, and then so from that it's like, okay, we should have a podcast, a show where we just talk about the movie, like we should show our friends the movie that they haven't seen. And I think that was the basis of the idea. I don't remember. I think maybe I was the one who pitched that it should be a podcast because quarantine, like what are we really doing at that time? I don't even remember the date the first episode came out, but yeah, it just really came from like, oh, you haven't seen that movie? Well, let's show it to you and let's talk about it, because like naturally that's what we would do anyways. So why not just have that recorded? And we realized it'd be a lot of fun if we invited our friends onto it and to talk about movies they enjoyed. And yeah, it's kind of just evolved into this thing that I want to keep working on. And let's be for real, someone, you're probably going to absorb it, or we're going to absorb you, who's going to we're going to combine forces. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And hey, if you're listening to this and want to be on that show too, like reach out. And, like if you want, is there a movie you just want to talk about? We'd love to have you on.
Is that your intention with the podcast, just to share movies and just talk about it with your friends?
Well, that's where it started for sure. But what I get out of it now too is learning more about filmmaking in general, like studying films. Like that's something that will probably interest me forever. It's something that's interested me since I was 8.
Yeah.
You know, so it just naturally, I just have a lot of fun just deep diving about a movie. Like our Taxi Driver podcast is longer than the movie itself, which is so cringe.
No, it's not cringe.
I had so much fun making that.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun researching it and watching the movie again. And it wasn't a movie I gave 5 stars until I did the podcast on it. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but also I also get to strengthen my skills as like an audio recordist or like a podcast editor. You know?
I think we all are. We're still learning a lot.
That's what this, you know.
Yeah. So you've been doing more Silver Hour Film Club recently.
Yes.
At least this new wave of episodes
we took
that are coming out.
Break.
Moving forward from that, I want to talk about First to 100 a little bit. A friendly
You're
game
the first person to ever want to talk about First to
I want to talk about it.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, a friendly game of billiards between two masters of the sport becomes an epic showdown of unexpected proportions.
I can't believe I hadn't seen The Color of Money yet.
I know. I watched that recently and it's really good. Some of the shots are just sexy as hell. But anyways, you made this pre-pandemic?
Just before.
Right before.
It like premiered February like 28th or something.
And you kind of took this kind of comedy and kind of neo-Western kind of approach, Quentin Tarantino vibe to a pool game that I thought it was really fun. So what's your approach to that? What's your inspiration?
Yeah, we made that in a week for Campus Movie Fest, which was like a film festival that used to run on campus. I don't know if they still run or not. And actually, I did do a movie with them before. You probably not heard of it, but me and my friends freshman year, we made a movie for that festival, and we got to screen at the thing, and that was really fun. It's called Closed Doors.
Okay,
shout out to Taylor, Alex, and Trevor for co-directing that with me. We all split the director credit on that.
Nice.
Yeah, so when Campus Movie Fest announced they were back, it was we were sophomores, and I was like, okay, I want to do something again. So I pitched this idea because we were at the USU 22 West offices, and I pitched it to Parvati and Emma, and I was like, we should join this festival and make a film. I think I was inspired by a TikTok of people playing ping pong, and it got really crazy. Like they would do gags in that. So I'm like, oh, we'll just take that.
Like the one they start using ping pong. I mean, using the pads. What do you call the
paddles?
The paddles. Like they start using umbrellas and shit. Is that the one?
I don't know if that's the one necessarily. It might have been that one. I don't think it was though. But yeah, and I wasn't even a big I hadn't even seen The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I hadn't seen The Color of Money. You know, I was just like, I think a Western would just be a natural way to draw comedy from the situation because it's a duel between two people. And it's just funny if just escalated the hell out of it. And Campus Movie Fest was nice of them to like let us use I don't remember what website it was, but like it had like music on it and everything. So I love the music on that film, and it made editing the montage really fun. And Alex also shot that movie, and he did a great job.
Alex also shot Twin Aces with you.
Yes, super talented. I hope he works with me forever.
Shout out to Alex.
Yeah, shout out to Alex. Yeah, and that was a lot. I'm glad you like that short, but I guess it's because you play a lot of billiards. I feel like your explore page on Instagram is all billiards. You wanna?
Oh my god! Did you steal my phone?
You send a lot of billiards memes in our group chat.
I do.
Yeah. It's a really fun short.
It's a silly little short, and I just thoroughly enjoy watching it.
I'm happy you enjoy watching it. It is one I can just watch to enjoy because it's just so silly. And I loved the screening of it, I was really nervous that people wouldn't respond, but people were dying. People were
It was
laughing.
so funny. The ending is so funny.
That is the biggest reaction to anything I've ever directed before at that screening when the ball rolls out of
Wally's way back.
Wally's way back, which is a reference to, I think one of the characters is named Wally in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I don't know for sure. Or it's just Wallach or something. I don't know. But yeah, and hey, that's me doing Tenet before Christopher
I know.
Nolan.
I know.
Yeah.
Go watch that. First to 100. It's also on YouTube.
That is also on YouTube. Yes, I think that's even posted on my actual YouTube channel.
Yeah, or something. Shout out to Ronan as well.
Yes, Ronan acting. Shout out to Trevor for acting in that as well.
Future episode?
Yeah.
Question mark. And then let's move on to a young author receives unexpected help on their unfinished horror novel. This little short film that you made not too long ago.
Yeah,
a couple
still
months
working
ago.
on it.
still editing it.
Yeah.
Called Symposium.
So I was lucky enough to be a part of Venice Arts filmmaking fellowship pre-apprenticeship thing.
Is it on digital storytelling?
Yeah, digital storytelling fellowship. They've like changed their name. I work for them now as a teaching assistant for that fellowship. So shout out to everyone at Venice Arts. They're all really nice. And then we had to do a personal project for our final film, for our graduation or whatever. And yeah, just asked Parvati like, hey, I want to produce this horror short. I feel like when we were screening Twin Aces at the festival, everyone would ask me, oh, what's next? What's the next thing you're doing? And it's like, oh, I want to do a horror. And they're like, oh, that, that's exciting. It's a nice little buzzword. But I was like, I don't know what my horror would actually be. But I did want to do horror. That was something I've always talked about, like something I do after Twin Aces. Symposium, not to get too like into details about the plot because that's not officially released yet, but it's kind of just how I was feeling as a creative at the time, about like outside forces asking me what I'm working on or wanting to give input.
It's about a writer's block, pretty much.
In a way, yeah, it is about writer's block in a way. So yeah, it's not out, so that's why I'm not getting too like.
We're not going to spoil it.
Yeah, not some spoiler or anything, but yeah. So what was your question about it?
No, so a lot of our friends kind of came together once again for this little project.
Yes, there's a dream team.
Fun. Yeah, it was the dream team. I was on set. Kind of, I would say, quote unquote script supervisor because, it has such a skeleton crew. We didn't have much. Yes. I would just take very basic notes for you because you're editing it as well. Yeah,
this crew is awesome. I loved everyone on crew for that. Such a great set. A 6-hour shoot. Super easy. It just flew by. It seemed like everyone was relatively like happy with how it went. Yeah. It was great. I was expecting something to go catastrophically wrong or something, but no, it went smoothly. And
I think that's one of the best things. One of my favorite things to work with friends.
It's just like we know each other's rapport, language, and everything. And Joyce is such a great actress, and I was so happy she agreed to work with. I was afraid reaching out because I hadn't talked to her in like a year. It was a blast. You helped out on PD a bit too.
Yeah, I just slapped some stuff on the walls.
Yeah, not to say what the stuff on the walls are or anything,
but look out for that short. When is it coming out? Do you have an estimate?
I don't know. Hopefully by spooky time this year.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Spooktober, guys.
Yeah. I got to premiere it at the Venice Arts culmination screening that you also went to. Thank you for coming along to that. And we freaked out some little kids at the front.
Oh yeah, the little kids were like looking back. That was funny.
Yeah, one of my favorite reactions to something I've made was
for sure.
A little kid get freaked out about what I made.
For sure.
At least I know confirmed I scared one person.
At least one person on Earth
was scared about a horror short, which is all you can ask for when making a horror.
Really. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Last little project that we should talk about, I guess. It's about a man and a woman going on a date for their anniversary.
Yes.
This movie is called Anniversary. It's on Letterboxd right now,
yes,
too.
It is. Who directed that?
I don't know. I think I think.
Okay, I thought Judd Kino might.
He scored it. He's a great friend of mine. But yeah,
I love him. You should get him on the show.
I should.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be incredible. But he's kind of busy and he's kind of introverted. He's kind of like hides in his cave.
We kind of have a similar thing. Like, how many people know who Judd Kino Mike is?
Not many.
He's a pretty chill guy. He's not one to like hang out with people, but
he comes out. He comes out like every once in a while. I text him sometimes, but but he always delivers, man. Whenever I got like a project I need a rush score, he comes out.
He scored Symposium. Yeah,
he did.
Yeah,
in what, like a day or two, a weekend, something like that.
I'm hoping you can like rescore it. No offense to Judd.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully, we'll see.
No, but Judd Kino Mike, like if I need a score, he's pretty.
Yeah, he's a nice dude. Avery and Dominique, friends of the show.
They're literally the greatest people.
Yeah, they're the nicest people ever.
I can't believe how nice they are.
Yeah, it's almost criminal how nice they are.
What is their secret?
Yeah. But they're the nicest people ever. They are the creator of Strain Entertainment. It's a production company that launched recently. Woo-hoo. And they kind of just invited all of our friends, including me, to make an attempt at this 48-hour film festival thing.
Yes.
And I was given the chance to direct it, and you and Avery and Diego were the writers, and you also edited that short. And what's so interesting about making such a short in 48 hours is that we're kind of rushing every step of the way.
Yeah.
And we're kind of shooting and sending the dailies and the script notes to you while we're shooting, and while you're sitting in the editing room, edit as we shoot.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So how was that experience like for you?
It was a blast. Writing it, you weren't there for the writing process.
No.
But that was so much fun because like I was still in an Uber on the way over to Avery and Dominique's place when the prompt dropped, and we got on a phone call and we were like, okay, what are we doing? And like, here's the prompt. The prompt was about time.
Which is perfect because we got JJ on our side.
No, they were like, oh, this is for you, JJ.
Yeah.
We got a time prompt. Yeah, and it was fun to just bounce ideas off of them. I'm in a writer's group with Avery, so there's already like a creative rapport there. And yeah, editing it, like being able to like watch the assembly cut and then go to you and be like, it'd be nice if we had the shot, and then have you guys run outside and do the shot was so much fun.
Yeah.
Writing and editing is funny. It's like I got to see the beginning and end of it, and I was in the editing cave just working on it while you guys were out in the park shooting, and it was fun to be like, oh, I wonder what they're going to come back with and how it's going to come together. Such a great experience. Stressful because I had to actually sleep over at Avery and Dominique's.
Yeah,
and stay over, and basically we submitted at the last second too. We just got in at time. We had to email the people who ran.
And we were working on the score on the final day. In the morning.
Oh my gosh. But you know, since that was with friends, like as you said, that makes working a blast. You know, and that's what filmmaking is all about: is working with friends. And I'm very happy with how that project like turned out. And you did a really great job directing. Like, you definitely cooked on some parts. And like when you told me, like, well, I guess I can't really get into specifics, but there's some shots where I was like, wow, you framed that perfectly. You set that up. That was really well done. And it made editing is a lot more fun when the footage you get is gold. You know, it makes serving the final platter a lot easier. I just switched the narrative from mining to cooking, but you get what I mean.
Yeah. It's such a fun little project. And you can watch it out on YouTube.
Oh,
if you're interested. Yeah, it's on Strain Entertainment's YouTube channel, I think. So
and log it on Letterboxd.
Log it on Letterboxd.
Log my movies on Letterboxd too.
Yeah, all of the above are on Letterboxd except for Symposium.
And it will be eventually.
Yeah, will be eventually. Out of all of these movies that you've done and your kind of professional career as an editor outside freelancing too, is there any war stories that you would like to share?
Yeah, war stories.
Reoccurring segment.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Parvati in her episode talked about probably the biggest one in Twin Aces. That was one where like I was. She said she expected me to freak out during Twin Aces at some point. But I feel like I did a pretty good job. I think when that happened, when our location kind of just like did all that at the very last second, that's when I was just kind of like, you know, but I knew we had I like threw Parvati's clipboard.
Shout out to that clipboard.
Yeah. But I knew we had a pickup day, so I still wasn't like super freaked out about it. Logan Lucky is one of my favorite films. Sorry if that's a weird transition, but he writes down a list of rules in that film about like what to do during a heist, and one of them is just shit happens. And I think about that all the time just when making films, because every film is kind of like a heist. In a way, you assemble your crew and you try to get the money. And like something will go wrong, and there's you just kind of have to be prepared for it. And when I hear like, oh, what are the war stories? It feels like what's given you PTSD, you know? But I don't like, I feel like I'm just prepared for the PTSD to happen. But also I know stuff is going to come up that's really going to hurt, but I just have to be ready for it. Sorry, I don't have like a more specific story for you, but I think just like
that's a specific one. I would just like to know kind of your perspective as well, because Parvati shared her perspective on the situation.
Oh yeah, it was just I was happy I was just like, oh, you guys have like 10 minutes left in this location. Please get these shots. And it's like, wait, what? I thought we were gonna have the whole day, but just had the actors run through the scene, just got the coverage we needed. Just basically came down to just get what you need, and get out. So that's what we did. So I know at least like if everything goes wrong, at least we have that. And yeah, that was obviously tough, but that ended up becoming a blessing in disguise, because I think the second location we ended up getting to was so much better.
Way
and
better.
Some of the best shots in the film are at that location. So I'm actually happy that happened in a way. Yeah, I mean, problems in filmmaking, those always come up. And I think a big part of being a filmmaker is being able to solve problems. David F. Sandberg has like one of my favorite YouTube videos.
We just talked about him in Parvati's episode.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Did she bring him up?
I brought him up.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, whoa, Parvati bringing out David F. Sandberg. I didn't know she had game with like. But yeah, you've probably seen his like problem solving in filmmaking.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite YouTube video essays, and I like to watch it before I like start a production, because like you just have to be prepared for stuff to happen. You got to be adaptable. You have to be like what Bruce Lee said. You have to be like water. You have to shift and shape to whatever the circumstances you're approached with. So. War stories are bound to happen.
I think it's interesting because Leah's episode, she also shared that the whole audio issue, all the location issues that the movie 21 had. And she also said it was blessing in disguise, because what they ended up getting in the pickup days are always better. And I feel like that gets to show that sometimes you get better throughout the production too, working with your crew. And sometimes a bad thing might turn into a good thing.
Yeah. You know that filmmaking anecdote where it's like when you have a first feature, like with a new crew, like day one, you're probably going to have to scrap. Like you don't get anything from like your day one.
Interesting.
Because it's usually not going to be what you expect, or it's going to be shit or something. So, it's funny that like sometimes our biggest problems ended up being a big help to the film. Really.
Yeah, filmmaking is weird, guys.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Actually, this is an Against Your Dreams podcast. Please don't follow your dreams.
It's too tiring. You don't get any sleep and no money. Yeah. Oof. So looking back at all the projects, Twin Aces Thirst, First to 100, Symposium, Anniversary, at least the ones that we talk about right now, you are both the director and the editor. Now we're like kind of bringing everything back. You were kind of both the director and the editor on a lot of projects.
Damn.
Right?
Well, not an Anniversary.
Well, yeah, but a lot of your own project that came from you.
Yes.
A lot of times you're editing and directing. Which reminds me, a great man once said that if the director becomes the editor, then the film loses its director. So what do you think about this statement?
Well, we've mentioned examples of people who are directors and editors.
Yes.
But as also working on short films where I was just the editor and I've gotten to talk to the director, that's been some of my favorite work too. Like being able to talk with another creative and like come up with like new ideas and being able to present my ideas to someone else is a lot of fun. And I'm hoping one day I have that relationship with someone else that I can go to as an editor. I think right now, just like I've said, like my scripts, I don't want to burden someone with having to edit something so non-linear. But yeah, that's an interesting point. That's also, you can make the same statement about acting in a movie, like when a lead director is the like actor as well. Well, I said lead director. When the director is like the lead actor, the film loses its director. But there are really notable examples of people who are directing and also acting in a movie, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
So, you know, I get what they're saying, and it probably, and not probably, I guess probably is the right word because there are exceptions, but it is preferred to have an editor for sure. But right now I'm still learning, and I like to learn both things. So why not do both things on the same project? You know? Yeah. Yeah.
So for the projects that you have worked with another director, so how is it different from editing for yourself versus another creative? And like, how do you usually approach collaborating with a director?
So when you're normally just an editor, like the director's final say is their final say. Like, you can't betray their vision or what they want, you know? And that's fine because you're not the author of the movie. When I'm just the editor and director, it's kind of like power hungry in a way. I just like what I want is what I get, But I think when you do that, you have to make sure you seek out the opinions of others anyways. It's less like that when you're obviously just an editor. But I like I said, I do enjoy working with another creative. I think there is that relationship that is missed when it's just me.
Do you find it stuck in your head a lot of the times when you're editing yourself? Because a lot of editing, as creative as it is also about problem solving.
Yes,
so
that's true.
Since that you wrote the script and directed it, now going to the editing room, how do you see ways of solving a problem that you maybe didn't foresee as a writer and a director?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think I read this in a book somewhere, but it was about editing, and it was always just go back to the script, and that's how I get out of every jam I'm in. It's just read the script. How do I see it when I read the script, and just make it happen. You kind of just have to push through. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when I watch something like Twin Aces, it's like, ooh, that was a compromise maybe that I didn't want to go for, but it's just something you have to do. And yeah, that was a great question.
Thank you.
Shout out to this.
Came up from the spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't write that down.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's lying, guys. I see his notes. I'm just kidding.
But I kind of want to also talk about what we kind of mentioned earlier too, of separating yourself as an editor and as a director. Since you said that, are you kind of implying that you didn't necessarily have a director's hat and an editor's hat separately, and you kind of just treat editing as another, I don't know how I should phrase this.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I didn't think I like flipped on editor mode when I was like editing.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm just the director who's the editor now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I still like any like conversation that a director and editor would have, I just kind of had with myself in my head. Like, do I like this choice? Do I think this works for the story? So anything that would have been external is just in my head now. That's why I'm crazy.
But how do you get feedback in that case?
You just have to reach out to people close to you, or you just keep watching it yourself and seeing what you like. What does it work for you? Yeah, that it's tough, like missing the opinion of someone else in the room.
Yeah.
Then I consult my writer brain, I guess. But no, it's just if I like it, I like it. Like I do edits. Just for fun, post them on TikTok or YouTube.
You're a meme lord.
My YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm a secret meme lord. Gosh. Yeah, and those, like, there's no true director because that's just all post. You just get footage and make an edit yourself.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just natural to the process of, like, the editing process is also the creative process in a way. So I'm also writing it as I edit. So I think that has just come over time. Like, I'm just comfortable with that now. Like, I know what I'm trying to get when I edit this together. And if it's when I watch it back and it's not giving, then I just re-edit, So I think it's just a lot of practice. I think editing is such a key skill in filmmaking, obviously. So I think directors should also learn how to edit themselves. I think that also makes for easier production.
Yeah.
We had a first AD. Were you there? Like, a first AD came to like talk to our class, and I asked him, like, what are you looking for from a director? And he answered, like, they have to be a good editor too, because if they have an idea of what the shots are going to be on set, they know what coverage is or isn't necessary, and that saves time, and that makes the crew run faster. So I think it's a good skill to learn. When I write scripts now too, like, I write them as if I'm watching the film, and I try to break up action lines by like shots and how I see like this matches with what. So editing Symposium was pretty like simple because the way I wrote it too is supposed to like snap together in a way. So it's just important throughout the whole process. So it's, I guess that's the thing too. Like, when I'm an editor, I've been an editor this whole time. It's not like I turned into an editor at the end. When I wrote it, I feel like you say not to, when we write, just to write, which is good advice, I think, for like features and everything. But I think when I'm making these shorts, I'm already thinking about the edit at the end.
That's interesting.
Which makes this the process. When I get to the edit, it's like, oh, I've already been prepping for this. I've already filmed for this. Just to make it as easy on myself as possible.
Yeah, I think that's so interesting how we have a different approach to writing in the beginning, because I feel like, yes, you write to the edit a lot of the times, and I feel like I write not even for directing. I write just for the sake of story and characters, and I kind of give that off to other people. Maybe I'm the director, maybe someone else is the director, and they see what they see, and they put blocking and they put other stuff in it, So yeah, just different approaches and stuff. And you are mainly kind of focusing on editing because it kind of makes you bread right now, and also you're a teacher assistant at YepitsHoward. But you got to work with yourself on so many different positions, right? You got to work with yourself as a director, writer, and an editor. And I just feel like maybe you seem to have a lot more control of what kind of art and what kind of final product you want to push out. So I would imagine a lot of us aspire to make art the way that we want it to make it, exactly how we see it in our heads, even though it's not the easiest thing in the world, and the path is always very long and difficult, especially in the film industry where it's so unpredictable too. So why do you think it's so essential and also so inevitable to start working in the industry below the line to kind of eventually climb up to something above the line?
Great question. Yeah. I don't know if I'm the most qualified person to answer it.
I mean, we are all aspiring people who are kind of working below the line right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, we all want to work on bigger stuff. We all want to be writer, director, composer, or whatever, right? But, how do you find yourself navigating through this kind of landscape?
Well, yeah, I think if you want to be in those higher up jobs, you kind of have to understand how the lower level jobs work. I heard James Cameron is just really good at everything, and that makes his other heads of departments want to do their best because they know he can maybe do their job better than they can, you know? So I think it's really key to try to be a Renaissance person in a way. Not that I recommend it. I try not to DP at all. That's not something I'm particularly interested in or even very good at. Just try to surround myself with talented people. It's important just to understand filmmaking. It's hard. Yeah. If you don't know what a C-stand is, sure, you can probably direct a film, but it'll probably be harder. You should have a general sense of what's going on. Study filmmaking. What does Scorsese say? Expand the canvas, study the old masters. It's important.
Is that a direct quote?
Yeah, I think he did a documentary back in the 90s about talking about his favorite films. Yeah, recommend. I don't know if that quote is exactly correct, but that's basically how it goes. It's important just to get a sense of everything. I mean, film is something I've studied since I was 8 now, so I just naturally learn jobs, and I guess the jobs I'm doing now are things I've been drawn to. So I like writing, I like directing, I like editing. So that's what I do, I don't enjoy being the DP. That's why I don't DP.
Kind of learning each corner of filmmaking so that you have a better understanding of each department when you eventually get to be a director.
Yes.
That it helps you to communicate your ideas better.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, Nolan once said, actually, he said that...
Who?
There's this little indie director called Chris Nolan. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Sounds like a fraud.
Yeah, but I know his movies are. Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but he actually once said that he would recommend a lot of young filmmakers to try everything.
Yes,
but he did say that except for acting.
Interesting.
So what do you think that? Where do you think that come from?
Whoa.
What does that even mean? I don't even know, because I'm all for. I want to take an acting class, actually.
Me too.
I'm just fucking scared to do it.
I'm low-key an actor. I'm building up a reel.
Yeah, you do have a death reel, actually.
I do have a death
but reel. I just feel like as a filmmaker...
My God, I do have a death reel.
Yeah, you do.
I've died 3 times on camera.
You got to keep stacking up those reels, man.
Up those deaths, yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, I was saying that I'm all for... Because as a creative, as a person who wants to be a director, I feel like learning acting, at least the surface level, helps a lot for communicating with actors, like you said. So where do you think he's coming from?
I think I disagree with his statement. I don't know where that came from. I'm trying to think back to Memento or The Following. Where does that? I think being able to understand where an actor's coming from, what they want to hear from a director, is so important to how you want to communicate with them. Yeah. Hey, some of the biggest criticisms of Nolan's career, it's been his characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess he's fine. But he has gotten some people to win acting awards from his movies. Heath Ledger, Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. So if that works for him, that works for him. I just disagree because I think it's important that directors know how to communicate with actors, and a good way to do that is just by putting yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
I try to act. It's not something I want to pursue professionally, but it's a lot of fun to act, I think, and it also makes me feel more like empathetic with like how an actor feels, because it's like, oh, this is a lot of pressure. Like when the camera's on me, you kind of tense up, so it's hard to get the performance. How do I make my actor comfortable? You know?
Yeah. So what's keeping you going personally? Kind of navigating through below the line work and also just freelancing. I know we talked about money a lot, also about freelancing, and yeah, just what's keeping you going personally, and what makes you feel like this is the right thing for you to do to keep pushing?
Delusion.
Insanity.
Well, it's just something I've pursued forever. I don't know, sunk cost fallacy. Well, it's also like not sunk cost fallacy because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the grind. I just, this money's like the only real obstacle to things, It's just...
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, because if I didn't have to worry about having to pay for bills, this is awesome life, dude. Looking for the next gig, getting to work on different projects. This is so much fun. Like you have a blast working on sets, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard.
Well, obviously it depends on the set as well.
It depends on the set, and I think just industry as a whole is very taxing on everyone, mental health and physical health. But it's always hard, but it's very rewarding as well.
Yes, it is very rewarding. Yeah, and it's making art is fun, even if it's bad, there's joy in it, and it's just a way of connecting with people. And I mean, like, even like something like this podcast, like it lets us do this and talk about it, and I'm having a blast on this podcast. So
just do it for fun, really. Before we get into lightning round, and
I'm only here for the lightning round. Yes.
Before we get into that, do you want to plug I know you have an upcoming project that is still in pre-production right now.
Ooh.
Do you feel comfortable sharing about what your progress is? Because I don't know how much you want to share.
Yeah, we're currently on script development for it. It's going to be produced by Stray Entertainment.
With
so shout out
Dominic and Avery again. Yeah.
Who've been really helpful throughout this whole process. The whole reason we're just not forward in it is because I'm still working on it, still working on the script. Parvati's going to be producing it. You're going to be on it, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Not as a script supervisor.
Maybe I do. Maybe I do want to be a script supervisor.
Okay, interesting.
We'll see.
Ronan wanted to be a script supervisor.
Oh, okay. Let him do it then.
Okay.
Yeah, let him do it.
Cauliflower, I don't know if you want to have that in.
Okay,
not.
Let's cut that out.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. That's up to you. I don't. I'm indifferent. So I'm excited. I'm trying to get the wheels turning on it. I just need to finish the current draft of the script I'm on. Can't really announce it yet because we want to do like a whole campaign for it. But keep an eye on our socials. Yeah. My socials. I'm at Jozeven June on Instagram.
When's principal photography?
Oh, good question. Summer, July, August,
2024.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess, is this my call to action? Hey, if anyone's listening to this, you're most likely a creative, most likely know Howard and me. So
you probably will be there.
Yeah. So I know, reach out if you haven't heard of this project or not. Just, I love working with people. And I think something I need to work on is staying in touch and being more active. If you know me, I'm probably like the least active people in group chats sometimes. And
he just goes everyone.
Yeah. And that's something I need to work on, with directing too, just being more active and social,
create a network of your own.
Exactly.
Kinda.
Yeah. So that's in development, and I'm excited to work on it. It's going to be my most ambitious project to date.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. And it's
what genre?
What genre?
Do you want to share that?
It's going to be, let's say it's like a response to Twin Aces,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting answer to that question.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to be like how this episode is to Parvati's episode.
I read the script, guys. It's really good, and I'm really excited.
I didn't know you had an opinion on it, so thank you.
We'll work on it. So, you're still rewriting it, so
yes. Now the new draft is actually just garbage.
It's just completely trash. It's completely different from the one that I read. So lightning round.
Yeah, woo!
Lightning round.
Can't wait to completely flub this lightning round.
All right. One of your favorite films and why?
Man, is it okay? Well, I had the first thing that come to my mind, but is that how this? You should. Sure. Can you explain the lightning round rules again to me?
What? There is no rule.
There's no rules.
There is answer the question. That's the rule.
The first thing I said was Tenet. What? We've talked about it already.
Pick another one.
Yeah, let's pick something else. My current top favorite on Letterboxd right now is Good Morning. It's called Ohio. It's by Ozu. Really good.
Oh, okay.
Recommend. Saw that in my Japanese cinema class. Really beautiful film. There's a Criterion on it, which I have. Go watch it. It's like a domestic comedy. It's a lot of fun. Really cute. The main characters are like these two little kids and just going around making antics in Japanese suburbs post World War II. What else could you ask for?
Yeah.
Very pleasant Ozu film. I haven't even seen like Tokyo Story or something.
Yeah.
That's my current favorite right now. It's a lot of fun. I recommend.
Okay. One of your favorite filmmakers. Doesn't have to be a director.
Yes, I've prepped. It's Jennifer Lame.
Shout out.
Yep.
That's a great
also
pick.
known as Jennifer Awesome.
Jennifer Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Current editor for Christopher Nolan. Her work on Tenet and Oppenheimer are incredible, but she's also worked on a lot of Noah Baumbach films. Frances Ha, A Marriage Story, I believe. She's also worked on Hereditary. Diverse genres.
She also did Nightingale.
I haven't seen it.
I think that was one of the best edited film of that year. And
Nice.
it's such a little movie, too.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Just hijacking lightning
Sure.
round. What does good editing mean to you? Like, what makes a good edited film, in your opinion?
It depends on the movie, I think. Because do you want to be seen or do you want to not be seen? And I think... I don't know. That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question because it's hard to define. Like I was thinking about like, oh, what's my favorite edited movies? If someone were to ask me that, and it's like, it's hard for me to respond. Like I love JFK, but that's also a movie that's like super like edited like crazy, you know. But does that make good editing? Is that just the most editing? I don't know.
I think what's good editing for me, it's what feels right for the story. And fuck all the rules.
Yeah.
The rules are there for good reasons.
Look at this script supervisor saying "fuck the rules." Man.
I mean, yeah.
You want this guy who's like, the continuity. Psh, who cares?
But that's just my job. But
no. Okay, sorry. If anyone was like, yeah, Howard's an amazing script supervisor, the best I've.
Thank you guys.
So
thank you guys. But yeah, I would just say what feels right.
Cool.
Yeah, emotionally. What would you say is the most difficult aspect of the film industry right now?
Oh. I mean, I feel like a common answer is just like consistency of work, stability, especially for people like who are like us, like more below the line stuff. Finding consistent work is tough. It's hard. It's a grind, and it is taxing on soul and mind and body and everything. That's very difficult. Like trying to break into this part. Like a lot of people want to do it. It's very competitive. It's hard.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Who is the living goat of cinema?
I was wondering if you're going to ask this.
Living goat.
Scorsese.
Scorsese?
No, the living goat of it's Thelma Schoonmaker, really.
The who?
Thelma Schoonmaker?
Who's that?
The editor of basically almost all of his movies, Scorsese's movies.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that trivia.
You don't know Thelma, dude? Familiar with her game?
This is related to the question that you
Whoa! Wait, we have a guest. Wait,
whoa!
hold
surprise! What? What
What
is
is
this?
Wait, hold
Live
on.
unboxing?
Wait, so Parvati just handed.
Do you want to record my reaction? What's gonna happen?
Do you want to be here? Come here. So you can get closer. So
This is unprepped, by the way. Completely. I have no idea what's. Is there a bomb in here? There's a ticking sound. Is this gonna blow up?
okay.
Edit
So
an explosion.
Parvati just came in. And she just handed JJ a little red
Suspicious bag.
Little baggie.
Yeah, so what is
Just open it.
And apparently it's about what we're talking about right now.
It's
Yeah, open it.
very
It's a
loosely,
taxi driver.
very loosely related to what you're talking about.
What is it?
Oh my god,
What
it's
is
a
that?
little trophy that says the GOAT on it. Wait, why am I'm not the GOAT. Give this to Michael Jordan or Martin Scorsese.
No. I mean,
You're
you
the goat.
gave it to them.
Aw, thank
That's so
you.
cute.
Wait, why?
Do you want to describe what it is?
Did I not describe what it's it's a tiny little trophy with a little gold goat on it, and there's a little plaque that says the goat.
Yeah.
I don't like it when people say, oh, he's like one of the goats. There's no goats. It's GOAT for a reason. It's the greatest of all time. And, yeah. It is Jordan, by the way, guys. It's not LeBron James. Come on,
No,
get
it's
out of
messy.
here.
It's messy.
Oh my.
Dude, Real Madrid is like in the... I'm just kidding. Thank you so much, Parvati. This is amazing. Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
We got our first craft service
Oh
table
my gosh!
souvenir.
I'll give you a hug after. Yeah,
Aw.
this is incredible. Wow, what a surprise! Caught on camera or
funny.
on recording audio. That's really funny. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's continue the lightning round without being interrupted for once.
Yeah. Can we talk about how
I'm just kidding.
how Howard doesn't know who Thelma Schoonmaker is? Come on, guys. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right.
No, what if it's not? It's not even her. Okay. One of your favorite film composers and why?
Oh, great question. I wish I had a cooler answer. I mean, Ludwig Göransson's kind of cool. Man. What can I say?
Cool.
Just, who doesn't love the New Girl score or Community score, Howard?
That is facts. That's facts.
Hey, yeah, Ludwig, he has a lot of potential to become one of the greatest of all time. But I'm trying to think, I don't know. I wish I had better knowledge of composers, but that's just the first one to mind.
Good answer. Good
Lightning
answer.
round, man.
He's the golden boy right now.
Whoa.
Yeah. If you have to pick one of your past directorial works to best represent you both as a person and as a filmmaker, which one would it be?
Whoa. Good question. It's probably just Twin Aces, though.
Twin Aces.
Which is funny because I feel like I can watch everything else I've made, but I cannot watch Twin Aces. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's why it's the answer to your question. It's still too much like me, but I feel like I can make a better version today. It's weird. I have a very complicated relationship with that movie.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I love everyone who worked on it, and I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, I cannot watch it.
Yeah.
I listen to the score though. Love the score.
Oh, yeah. I can't listen to the score right now.
Really?
So I feel like I listen to it to like as a reference for myself, just to like what I did. But I feel like I always kind of like you watching Twin Aces. I feel like I focus on how much I didn't do.
What's the Kanye quote? My biggest regret is I can't watch myself live.
What the fuck? Dude?
That's a Kanye West quote. Is that how you feel about the Twin Aces? I feel bad for you, man. That's an amazing score. Everyone should go listen to it.
I talked about it in Parvati's episode too, that it would sound very different if I scored it today.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, that's for the Twin Aces podcast that we're coming out with. What is so important about the date 16th in any given month?
No, that's incorrect. Do you know why? Did you catch that?
It's the 15th, isn't it?
It's the 15th.
What does it matter?
Well, actually, because tomorrow's the 16th. Eureka, we're safe. Yeah. Well, I know why you got the joke, but I was like, so I guess 16th really is the date they're looking forward to. Anyways, This is a reference to a thing I used to run on Instagram where it's just a video of Tintin from The Adventures of Tintin, like the old cartoon, where I would just post a video every 15th of the month where they're like locked in prison or something, and Captain Haddock, I don't even know the context, is like, oh man, we're stuck here forever. But Tintin's like, wait, what's the date today? The 15th? That means tomorrow's the 16th. Eureka, we're saved.
So what's so important about that moment in your Instagram?
I am very anxious poster in social media, especially when it comes to like my Instagram now. Running multiple social media stuff makes me more comfortable with posting on there, but I still get nervous. But personally, with like my own Instagram, I struggle posting on there, but I still want attention like everyone else on social media. Okay. So it was just a good practice just to post video because it's also like, oh, it's the 15th. Let's post that and
remind everyone that it's the 15th.
Yeah, remind everyone it's the 15th, and I had ideas for like how I could mix it up, so I just kept doing it. I don't do this anymore because it was just kind of just like, and I thought I ended it on a pretty good note too. I think I ended it on like the 16th time I did it or something.
End of an era.
End of an era, yeah. I treat my Instagram like an art gallery, and it's like, here's the new 15th of the month, and I like unveil it.
Love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
Would you rather have Premiere crash every 10 minutes every time you edit, or having to work with actors who always hate you?
That question rocked me to my soul. Premiere crash every 10 minutes or work with actors who hate me. I think actors who hate me can like there can be a pretty interesting dynamic there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would just use Final Cut or something if Premiere crashed.
Or any editing software that you use.
Any editing software I use. Yeah. Well, I mean, so I'd rather work with actors who hate me, I guess, is the thing. I assume my actors hate me anyways when I go into...
Nice.
Is that what you would pick?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Because what if you want them to be like unhinged?
Yeah, there you go. Maybe I would just base the story around them, just like, Jake Gyllenhaal freaking hates David Fincher, but his performance in Zodiac's incredible. So
interesting. I did not know that. Okay.
That's why they haven't worked together since, I think.
Damn,
I think he was driven
that's why
crazy.
he's making Roadhouse right now.
I liked Roadhouse. Shout out to shout out to Ronan, who hates Roadhouse.
What is cinema?
Oh, what is cinema? You'll know it when you see it. When you're watching this go.
Okay.
I made a motion with my hands.
Yeah, he's making this.
It's the Scorsese like
big picture.
It's
motion picture.
Cinema is not a TV show.
Okay.
Because that's a different medium. That's a different art form. And cinema is not a video game. It's different. It's its own thing. I think cinema movies is like the ultimate form of storytelling. We can take someone on, because I think video games gives the audience member a sense of control. Mm-hmm. And then it all combines music. Cinema combines music, acting, theater. Everything.
Yeah,
it's the ultimate form of storytelling. It's so exciting.
Interesting. I love that.
That is cinema.
That's cinema.
It's cinema.
Great answer. Are tennis balls green or yellow?
Oh, here it is, the dreaded question. If you asked me this a month ago, I would have said green. But I've searched up greenish yellow and yellowish green on Google, and I was swapping back and forth, and I was like, greenish yellow looks most like a tennis ball. So by that logic, I think they're yellow, right? Yeah. But I mean, if you asked me throughout my life, I would have said green. But
so are you switching to yellow?
Because they are a greenish yellow, which makes them yellow.
Interesting.
So I'm on team yellow now.
Team yellow.
Which is weird. Challengers is out in theaters. I need to go watch it.
How come you guys talk about the same shit?
Huh?
What?
Because when I asked you this question, you also said you looked up on Google, watch Challengers, guys.
Well, Challengers wasn't even out when you did your episode.
It was gonna come out.
It was gonna come out.
Wow. Ugh, part of these too similar to me, guys. Get out of here. Why are you having our episodes go back to back? It'll probably be exactly the same.
It's almost like you guys are co-hosts to another podcast.
I didn't know. I'm just finding out. So this is why you asked this question? It's because you guys have different opinions on it? Or is it just you asked?
No, it started with us. You were in the room when we were talking about this.
I don't remember this. I do remember you guys talking about it. I don't remember how the conversation started.
Team captains.
Wow, you guys are the team yellow now.
The problem is you can't just say yellow. I think if you just had yellow or green, that's it. It's green. But if you get into the specifics, like if you add, the whatevers, it's a greenish yellow. Does that make any sense?
That does make sense, but I feel like I'm asking green or yellow.
You want me to change my answer to green?
No, I completely respect your opinion on yellow if you want to stick to it.
So if we have the full range of colors and descriptors, the best descriptor would be yellow.
Okay.
Yes.
But if you have to pick,
standard
would be green.
It'd be green.
Okay, interesting. Interesting answer.
How centrist?
I respect it. Favorite podcast, and why is it this one? And I know you joke about how I force everyone to kind of answer this question completely truthfully. So I'm gonna actually start a bit from this episode on, where I'm gonna add like a gun sound effect right before it. So
you stole my gag, dude.
Favorite podcast, and why is it this one?
So obviously I knew you were gonna ask this question because I've listened to all your episodes. So my gag was gonna be, I was just gonna explain how humble and how humble and the humility behind your podcast, but I was also gonna give a genuine answer about how I love that you've started this to talk to our friends and fellow creatives about the process.
Yes.
Because it's always so insightful, and I love listening to things about that. And I'd give this whole spiel about how wonderful the podcast is, and then I'd end it with, you can put the gun down now, Howard. you got the soundbite. Congratulations. So there you go.
It's almost like you still stealing that Gran Turismo joke that I had in the other podcast that we did. So I guess we're tied now.
We're even. I guess we're even. Yeah, but this is a great podcast. I hope you do this forever. I hope you're damned to an eternal
doom of just recording podcasts.
Of interviewing fellow creatives forever. And I'm excited to see where you take this. It's I love it, and I definitely want to be on a future episode for
Hell
sure.
yeah, 100%.
I'm almost offended. I'm like the 7th guest. No, I'm just
That's it. I'm never having you on again.
No, I'm really happy you got me on finally, and what a great podcast, and
Hell yeah.
I definitely recommend it for sure. I don't know why you try to start beef like we have competition. I thought we were supposed to be friends. I feel like I didn't start. I feel like you were the Kendrick Lamar in all this.
Is the
and you
beef
threw the
killed right
shots.
now? Is the beef squashed
killed?
right now?
No, because you guys can find the Silver Hour Film Club
Yeah.
on Spotify.
There it is. There
and
it is.
YouTube. We got a lot of things cooking for y'all. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's it. I'm going to cut that out of the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Last words. Yeah, last words.
Last words.
Last words
Yes.
and recommendations.
And recommendations, great.
Anything you've done,
Well,
seen, or heard.
where's the part where I like plug all my socials and
I
stuff?
mean, you can plug it in the last word section.
Oh, that feels. You should have a section just for plugins.
Okay, plug it now and we'll get to the last
You're
words.
holding a gun at me. Put it down. I'm at Jozeven June on Instagram because at Jozeven was taken. If you,
Oh,
I'm at Silver Hour Film Club. Like I've said, I'm also at Jozeven Film on Letterboxd. That's JO7 and film. Please follow me on Letterboxd. I'm
Yeah.
like. I'd rather get your Letterboxd over your Instagram, TBH. And if you're a fellow creative, I want to work with you. I struggle with reaching out with people. So
Aw.
reach out to me, and I'm totally happy to, I edit, I direct, but I also, my below the line jobs, like an AC, I can grip, I guess.
Yeah.
I can try to script supervise. I'm not as good as Howard. Why is scripty an offensive term?
that's for another podcast.
Oh, okay.
You said
Recommendations.
Yeah, last words and recommendation.
Recommendations. I just watched Shogun.
Oh yeah, I
Very
saw your
good.
review on Letterboxd.
So that's an awesome show. Really cool. And it's only going to be one season, which is really sad because I felt like I could have watched 10 seasons of that show. Incredible. And look at me actually doing a TV recommendation on this. I never thought that day would come.
Yeah.
But I guess my general recommendation would be like watch more movies. That's something I try to tell myself all the time. Like
Keep on watching.
dude, expand the canvas, study the masters. This quote goes so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Great.
Did you have anything else? Because I do have one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or how do you normally wrap up?
Clapping.
Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, here's my segment for you.
Okay, sure.
So at the Silver Hour Film Club on Instagram, you can find us on there. I don't know if I said that. I started doing these previews of our episodes, and suddenly over here, YepitsHoward presents the craft service table suddenly has previews going on, and I love your little previews, but I'm like, this looks pretty familiar. Whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder where you got that idea from. But admittedly, I do love them, so let me help you out.
Okay.
I'll give you some preview options.
Okay,
Here.
sure.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Will you use them? Who knows? Okay, here's number one.
Okay. Do you want me to say anything first?
No, you can. Play off me.
Okay, sure.
Play off me. Wow, that was really insightful. I can't believe you've asked that. That's one of the most insightful questions I've heard today. I can't believe. Thank you, Howard. That was great.
No. I just want to have a genuine conversation.
I
with you.
know, dude. This is real, man. This is real, and wait for it. This is actually the best part of it. Okay, so that was one. So here's another one. Here's another one. Ready?
Wait, hold on. Let me. Okay. Let me get.
Here's another one.
Let me get. Let me get out of this. Hold on. Okay.
Here's
I'm
another
good.
one. Why would you ask that? Dude, why would you ask that, man?
No,
Come on.
I didn't want to offend you.
You
No.
crossed the line with that one, dude.
No, I'm
I don't
sorry.
know. Can you cut this? Do you cut this out?
I'm sorry.
Or would this actually make good content? No, cut this
No,
out.
what-
You made me mad.
Wait, hold on. Don't leave.
No.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait.
No. This podcast is a fucking joke. I can't believe I went on this. I'm never coming back to this podcast again.
Okay.
I had a third one.
So I got two options now, guys.
What was my third one? Whatever. How was that? Was that good for you? Were
That's
those
great.
good previews? Yeah.
That's
'cause
great.
I know sometimes I struggle picking previews for mine, so I was hoping
Okay.
to give you a few options.
Thank you.
for your
So I'm
preview.
gonna
Yeah.
use one for the promo and the other one for the actual thumbnail, the official post for it.
Wait, right, because you do.
I do too.
Like two. Oh man, what a yeah.
Maybe I'll use it.
No,
shit.
actually, I do have a question. What's gonna be like my image, my PNG of me against the white background?
You're gonna send it to me, so.
Ah man, ugh. You just have the Silver Hour Film Club logo.
No. But anyways, yeah. That's it.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining me, and thank you guys for listening. There's a Q&A button at the end of Spotify.
Oh my god, that I have utilized.
Yeah, so if you want to say anything. Wait, maybe that was my outro.
Yeah. How was that?
I'm probably going to cut all this out. But anyway, that was the episode.
No, you got to put that in the outro.
That's the episode. Thank you for coming.
No, I refuse to be contained in an outro. No, get me out of here. No, get me out of the outro, please.
Enjoy the jazz.
No, the music's so good I can't. I'm stuck here forever in this infinite loop. You did a thing on Leah's episode where you wrapped it around to the start.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, ready, look at this guy.
That's cinema to me.
Yeah, that's cinema. That was like,
cinema.
oh, look at this. Yeah.
That's going to be my shtick from now on.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Well, I feel like that's the hardest thing for me, though.
To be yourself?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Give me a character. Should I be like...
Be Scorsese for a second.
Cinema. This reminds me of the 1941 picture, Who Left Me at the Baby's Door, where...
Spit an image. You're trying to make it to the outro right now?
No. I got something for your outro.
Comment mark?
Ouch.
Because I did a tally of our score.
I think I won.
Yeah, you won by far. Yeah.
I think you picked like... Who do you think you picked Natalie Portman to win?
Yeah, or
Best
some
Actress?
shit. That's just like wishful thinking.
Yeah, no. I wish you won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would have been dope. I listened to some of my takes and like I was not on like the Lily Gladstone train yet.
Oh wow.
Record.
Okay. Welcome